friends, welcome back to Rustic and Lace DIY. Today I have a video that is full of some of my favorite DIYs from this year, so I hope you enjoy it. But first of all, if you're new here, welcome. My name is Brenda and this is Sleepy Oliver, and if you're returning, we love you so very much. So with all that, let's get to crafting. Number one. So for this DIY, I'm using 4 of those wheel wreath forms from Dollar Tree and then a 4-foot board I got from Hobby Lobby last year. Now I'm starting to do some measuring. Right now we're just kind of measuring where the center of that wheel form will go, and then once I have that measured, I'm gonna mark that on 4 spots of the board. And then we're just going to measure how wide we want, or no, how long we want slits. So what we're going to do is we're going to use my oscillating tool to make like grooves inside the board, or slits. And then we're going to slip those wheel forms in. And so here he is just helping me measure, because it doesn't matter how much I measure, it's always off. So here I'm just connecting the dots to where we made those marks, and we made them about 4 inches long. So that way a lot of that wheel form would fit in. So here I'm using my oscillating tool to just make those slits, and we go down about a 1/2 inch. We probably could have gone down a little bit deeper, but we were afraid of going all the way through. So once those slits were made, we stuck the wheel forms in them, and then he taught me this technique. It's really cool. He is using baking powder. He's putting it in the slit, and then once we get all the excess off of there, he's going to use super glue, and he just pours some super glue all around that baking soda, and it hardens, and it is so cool. It only takes like 10 seconds. In fact, you can watch it harden. It's really a cool technique. I've never heard of this before. I've never seen it. But it's just making like a casing over that wheel form to hold it in place. And then once it dried up and hardened, he's just adding some more baking soda. And then we're just going to wipe off the excess there, or blow it off. It was kind of windy. I'm surprised it didn't blow off easier. And then he's just going to add some more of this super glue until we have it all leveled and it is covering that wheel form to keep it in place. Now, I will have to say these wheels are still a little wobbly. That's why, I mean, they go back and forth, and that's why I think that maybe if we would have went a little deeper, it might have worked a little bit better, but it's still really cute. I love how it turned out. So then I took one of those long skewers from Dollar Tree and I cut it down, and we're using this in between the spokes there, and he's just putting some super glue on all around where it goes into the form. And then we are going to use his accelerant that we have, and that sets that glue within like 7 seconds. And I do have that in my Amazon store if you're interested in it. It is really amazing. I love using it instead of a hot glue if I need something for a permanent hold, but I need it quickly. So here's my little Oliver. I had to show you guys this because he was so cute. We had to drain our pool because we have to get a new pool liner, and he was just infatuated with the pump down there.
Get that pump.
And I was just cracking up because he was like wanting to attack it. He kept growling at it, kept barking at it. I thought it was so funny, and it was too cute. I had to show you guys. So here's a little cuteness for you to enjoy. Okay, so then once we were done putting it all together, I took it inside and I just used that Waverly wax on the top of the board. And then I took some of these half beads I got from Amazon around Christmas time, and I'm just using my super glue, and I'm just gluing it to the end there, and then I'm using my accelerant to set it, and like I said, wait about 7 seconds and it is done. And that is all there was for this. It was super easy, and it is so cute, and I just love it. And maybe I forgot to add, I was going to add a picture of where I have it set up, but maybe I'll add that on the end. So stay tuned on the end if you want to see how I have it set up. But it's really cute. So you have to let me know what you think about this in the comment box below. Okay, here's DIY number 1. So for this DIY, I am using my Mod Podge for fabric, my Waverly chalk paint in the color ink. I am going to use, well, I thought I was going to use this nautical rope from Dollar Tree, but I changed my mind. I'm going to use some boxwood greenery from Walmart, this fabric from Dollar Tree, my rooster from Dollar Tree, some tumbling tower blocks from Dollar Tree that I previously painted black, and then this pizza pan from Dollar Tree. So I'm going to start off by removing that label and then giving it a good sanding with my finger sander. That way the paint will adhere a little bit better. Once I had that all wiped off, I took my Waverly chalk paint in the color ink and I give that edge a good painting. I'm just painting the rim of it and then just a little bit on the inside just to make sure that it's covered in case my cutting of fabric isn't very good, which sometimes happens. So after I had this all painted and dried, I did go over it with some Mod Podge as well. But then I also painted this rooster with the same black, and I did cover both the pan and the chicken or rooster with Mod Podge to help protect it from chipping off of that metal. Then I just trimmed down this material, and then I am cutting out this little piece that is on this. It says Happy Chicken. I can't tell what it says. Something farm. Dream farmhouse? I don't know. I can't tell. I think that's what it is. I can't read upside down. Anyways, I'm going to use this to put onto that rooster. So I'm taking this Mod Podge for fabric and I am just putting a good coat all over the inside of this pan. Now they make this Mod Podge super thick, and I'm guessing it's because, you know, fabric is usually a little thicker, so they make it thicker, I'm guessing, so that it will adhere better or soak through that material a little bit better. I don't know. I'm not a scientist, but that's just what I'm guessing. But anyways, once I had that all on there, I'm just going to add my material on there. And you guys, I felt like I was really making a pizza because here I am stretching it out and pulling it all up to the edge, just like you would do with a pizza crust. But once I have this all on there, then I'm going to take some more of that Mod Podge and I'm putting it on top of the rooster there. And then I'm going to add that little piece on the front. And then once I let them dry for a few minutes, I did cover them with regular Mod Podge as well. Then I'm taking this Hippo hot glue gun that was sent to me by Hippo to try out, and I am adding my little tumbling tower blocks onto my pizza pan. Now you'll see me here kind of trying to see where it's all going to sit, and that's mainly because I wanted to make sure that the little holes on top of the rooster had the black tumbling tower blocks behind it, just to kind of help disguise those little holes a little bit. So once I had those all on there, I'm going to take some super glue, since we are working with metal here, and I'm going to use some super glue on the top part of those tumbling tower blocks and then my hot glue on the bottom part. And then once I have that all on there, I'm going to put my rooster right on top. After that, I'm going to take this hot glue gun and add some hot glue, and I'm just going to put in every few inches, I put a little dab of hot glue, and then I'm going to just add this beautiful ribbon that I got from Amazon. I just love this. I went to go order more the other day and it's out of stock, and I'm so bummed because I really love this and I'm running out and I need more. It is in my Amazon store, and hopefully it comes in stock really soon because I'm getting really low. So anyways, once that was all on there, then I am going to take these half beads that I also got from Amazon, and I'm hot gluing them onto the pan as well. Now that compass there, I did measure them to be about 3 inches apart. And so here I'm just adding a hot glue to the beads, and then I thought, you know what, it'd be easier if I just put hot glue on the pan. That way I know right where I had them marked. So anyways, once I had them hot glued, I'm just taking this ribbon I got from Amazon. It is in my Amazon store, and I'm making a bow. I just made the awareness ribbon, scrunch it up, and tie some twine around it. Now, this ribbon is kind of hard to make bows out of because it is stiff and thick, and so it's kind of hard to get to, I don't know, to form correctly. But once I was done, I took some of this boxwood and I just stuck it in between the ribbon and that twine, and then I took the legs of that twine and I'm just tying a knot around the boxwood to give it extra support. Then I'm going to hot glue it to the top. Sorry this is out of frame, you guys, but I did take a bigger half bead and I'm just going to hot glue that in front of that bow, and then I'm just taking some more of this braided twine that I love so much, and I am just hot gluing that, using that as a hanger. And then I'm going to take the little pieces that I cut off when I was making the dovetails on the ribbon, and I'm just using that to go over the back of the hangers there, just to kind of give it extra support and cover up the ends. And there it is. I love this. I hope you do too. You have to let me know what you think about this in the comment box below. Here's DIY number 3. So for this DIY, I'm going to take this Chalk Couture transfer. It is called Farm Charm collection. I'm not sure if this is still available or not. I do have some that are no longer available. This thankful sign that I got last fall from Dollar Tree, my chalk paste in the color Bright White, my chalkboard paint from Dollar Tree, my twine from and boxwood greenery from Walmart. So I again remove the staples from the back of this sign, and then I am going to turn it over and remove the paper. Now, the only reason why I'm really removing this paper is because I don't want to have all of that glitter everywhere. So I just peel off as much of the paper as I can, but make sure that I peel off all of the paper that has the glitter on it. After that, I'm just going to sand where those staples were, and then I'm going to give it a good painting of my chalkboard paint. After that, since our transfers are adhesive, I am going to fuzz it about 4 times, I think I do. And again, this piece, that big piece of transfer that I showed at the beginning, you can cut all of them. They're like multi in one. Anyways, I'm having a hard time talking tonight, you guys. It's been a long day. So afterwards, after I had it all fuzzed, because the reason we fuzz it is because we don't want it to pull off paint or ruin the transfer when we pull it off. So you don't want it to be as adhesive when you're using it. So once I have it on my board, I'm getting my chalk paste, and I am just going to use my squeegee, and I'm just covering that transfer, which is a silk screen, and I'm just going over all of that here. And then once I have it all on there, I'm just going to use my little scraper here to just kind of scrape off the excess, and then I am just going to pull it up. I'm going to hold my breath and pull it up, and there it is. Oh, so pretty. I just love it. Then I took this other piece of that transfer. It's a little pig, and I'm going to put this on there as well. And you only have to fuzz the first time you use it. But if you are interested in Chalk Couture, I am a designer, by the way, and if you are interested, you can always send me an email if you have questions. But I do have my website in the description box below. You can also go and check out my site as well. So once those were dry, and after I cleaned my transfers, which you need to do all the time because you don't want the chalk paste to dry on your on the transfers, I took some twine here, and I am just wrapping it all around one end. And I don't know, I think I wrapped it 5 or 6 times, and then I'm just hot gluing it the end to the back. And then I'm going to take some of this ribbon. I don't know where I got this ribbon. It was in my stash. But I am just making a little bow again, doing the awareness ribbon, scrunching it up in the middle and tying some twine to keep it tight. And then after that, I'm just going to cut the ends of the twine off. And then I'm going to dovetail it and fluff it as well. And once I am done with that, I am going to... I guess I'm still dovetailing. I'm talking faster than I'm moving again. I'm taking some hot glue and I'm going to glue some of that boxwood greenery right there. And then I'm going to take the bow and I'm going to hot glue it right on top of that boxwood greenery. Just so that you don't see that ugly stem that's there. And plus, you know, I don't know, I just love bows. I'm always putting bows on things. Sometimes I tell myself not to do a bow. And then I took some more of that braided twine and I'm just making another hanger on the back. I did cover that back with some shipping paper. And there it is. I love it. It is so simple, but yet it's so pretty. And I just love it. I love that pig too. You have to let me know what you think about this one in the comments. Okay, here's DIY number 1. So for this DIY, I am going to use these wood cutouts that I got, I believe, from 24 Hour Crafts. I will have it in my description box for sure. This fabric I just recently bought at Walmart and fell in love with it. And my farm words, this was March's Chalk Couture Club transfers. And then I got this piece at a thrift store here in town for $1.98. And then I am going to use my Waverly chalk paint in the color white, as well as my Chalk Couture paste in the color bright white. Now I started off by sanding. There was some little scratch marks and I was sanding them, and then I realized, you know, I better sand the whole thing since it's so it's kind of got it like a varnished top and I wanted the paint to adhere to it. So after I had it all sanded and wiped down, I painted it with my white chalk paste there, or chalk paint, and then I cut out my fabric that I want to use, and I am just putting on some fabric Mod Podge on the inside of this, what's going to be a sign. And then I laid my fabric all out on top of that Mod Podge, making sure there was no more wrinkles. And then I coat the top of it with my some more of that fabric Mod Podge. And then once I coated that, I let it dry. After it was all dry, I took an X-Acto knife here and I'm just trimming off the excess fabric that I had on there. After that, I am taking my wood animals here and I'm going to paint them with my chalkboard paint that I got from Dollar Tree. And then I'm going to take one of my transfers here from Chalk Couture. I am a Chalk Couture designer, so if you have any questions, feel free to email me or ask me in the comment box. But I'm just taking, this one says Farm Fresh, but I only want to use the word farm. So after I fuzzed it, I put it on the chicken, and I'm just going to use my chalk paste and my squeegee to cover the word farm. And then I'm going to do the same thing on my cow, although I should have washed this off because it didn't come out as clear. I mean, it's fine, it's readable, but if you look at it close, you can see a difference. So I should have probably washed it off first. So I'm just going to do the same thing on the cow that I did on the chicken. And then once I was done with that, I'm going to take my other words here, and this says home sweet. And so I'm just going to use the word sweet, and I am putting it right there on the pig. And as you can see, I have the pig going a different direction than I have the chicken and the cow. And then I'm just doing my paste here, and then I'm going to remove that transfer, and then I do go and wash them right away, because that's something you want to do if you ever use these transfers, because you don't want that paste to dry on the silk screen and ruin your transfer. So then I'm going to use some wood glue and hot glue, and I'm going to glue these animals right on top of my sign here. And after that, I am going to take this braided jute cord. I love this. You guys see me do this all the time, but I am just outlining the inside of my frame with that, partly to cover the rough edges of some of that material. Then of course I take some Waverly chalk paint in the color ink, and I just go around and do some distressing. Now again, if you guys ever try to recreate this, you don't have to distress it if you don't like it. That's all about what you like. So I took some of this ribbon. I think I got this ribbon at Walmart at Christmas time. And then the black gingham ribbon I just recently got at Hobby Lobby. It was on sale. It was like 99 cents, so I couldn't resist it. And I just made a bow by doing the awareness ribbon, and then I'm using, and I scrunch it down, and I'm using some jute twine here to keep them in shape. Just wrap it around a few times, tie it in a knot. Then, of course, I'm going to dovetail the ends by cutting the ends at an angle, folding them and then cutting them at an angle. Then I decided to add some boxwood greenery. So I just took a pick of boxwood greenery and just picked some of the greenery off and hot glued it to the top corner. And then I'm going to add my bow here. I also added a few more pieces on the sides of my bow of the greenery. Then I took a red button that I had in my stash, put it right in the middle of the bow, and then I took some twine, tied knots at the ends, and hot glued them in the back. And that's all there was for this one. I love this sign. I hope you do too. You have to let me know what you think about this in the comment box below. Okay, for this first DIY, I used some tumbling tower blocks, and I had this tissue holder, or Kleenex, whatever you want to call it, that I used for a template. So I started out by hot gluing 5 of the blocks together, and I make 12 strips of those 5 blocks. Then after I got all of those done, I guess I had to pick off the glue here. It's one of the things that drives me nuts is when you do this, if you get too much glue, you have to pick it all off. If you don't get enough glue, it breaks apart. So then after that, I took 12 strips of 3 blocks and I just hot glued them all together. Then I took 6 of those strips of 5 and I made 2 blocks. So I hot glued them all together like you see there until I had 2 blocks of 6. Then I took the strips of 3 and I hot glued them the same way, so I had 2 blocks of 6 strips. After that, I took the smaller strips, the ones with the 3, and I am going to hot glue the ends of the strips of 6, or strips of 5 really, because they're 5 across. Anyways, to the ends of the ones that were 3 across. It's probably easier for you to see what I'm doing than for me to explain it. So then I'm just making a rectangle. As you see there, I'm just hot gluing this all together. And after I got this hot glued, then I took some more of the blocks. I made 4 strips with 3 blocks and 4 strips with 4 blocks to make the top part of the box cover, the tissue cover. And after I have them all hot glued together, I'm going to take the two strips of the 3 and hot glue them together to make 2 different strips with 6, if that makes sense. Then I take the strips of 4 and I'm hot gluing 2 together, just like you see there. So then this is going to be the top. I'm going to hot glue the longer piece to the smaller piece, and then I will, once I get all of the pieces hot glued together here, there you go. So I'm making a rectangle just like you see there. So just gonna hot glue them all together, and once they are hot glued together, and I do hold them there for a few minutes because I want to make sure that it really adheres to each other. Then I am going to hot glue it to the top part of the box. So when you put this over your tissue paper, as you can see, I left the bottom open so you can just put it over your box of Kleenex. And I have rectangle boxes of Kleenex, but if you have the square ones, you could definitely make this, making it into a square as well. The dimensions, of course, would be a little bit different. So then after that, I just took my antique wax and I brush it all over this box, and I take a baby wipe and wipe off the excess. And then I had printed this from my Cricut. It says, "Bless you." And I put one on both sides of the Kleenex tissue box cover. And then after that, I took some half beads and I put them on my painter's tape, and I am painting them with my apple barrel black paint. And you guys, this turned out to be such a great way to paint those half beads because it keeps them stuck right where they are. They're not rolling around. I'm not getting paint all over my fingers like I usually do. And I just loved doing it this way. So then I just took some hot glue and I glued 4 of those beads to each side. And that's all there was for this one. It wasn't very hard at all once I figured out how many blocks I was going to need for everything. But I love the way it came out, and I don't know, I think it's really pretty. You'll have to let me know what you think about it in the comment box below. Okay, DIY number 1. So for this DIY, I am using these window clings from Dollar Tree, 2 of these tag signs I got from Dollar Tree, and my Waverly chalk paint in the color Plaster. So I'm going to start off by taking my Cricut spatula and removing those little stars off of the signs and saving them for later. Then I'm going to paint the back side of these pictures with my Plaster. And then I am going to trim all the little excess part of that bunny that has just the clear plastic. It gives it a more of a high-end look, so it doesn't give you that plasticky look. Then I'm coating one of the signs with my Mod Podge. And then I'm going to lay that beautiful rabbit right on the front. It took me a little bit to get it placed where I wanted it. Good thing you can lift and release with Mod Podge. So once I got it all on there, I just smoothed it out, and then I'm just going to cover it again with the Mod Podge. And you guys, I love the way this tag sign came out. So I did the same thing with the next tag sign, but I used the little Easter blessings and a couple of the flowers that were part of that window cling grouping as well. And then I just covered it all with the Mod Podge when I was done, just like I did with the bunny. After that, I took some of my elephant chalk paint by Waverly, and I am just going around the edge like you see there. I wanted, instead of doing the bristle mark, I just wanted it to be more of a, I don't know what you would call it. I guess a line. I don't know. Anyways, and then I did some distressing along the front. I did that on both of the signs, and then I covered both of the signs back with some shipping paper from Dollar Tree, and then just trimmed that all down so that you wouldn't see it from the front. And then I'm just going to trace that hole with my little knife there and cut that piece out as well. After that, I took some jute rope or jute twine, I should say, and I'm just using that as a hanger. So I'm just tying a knot on the ends and then moving the knot to the back part of the 2 tags. And then I'm just going to use my hot glue and glue the one tag on top of the other tag and glue it in place. After that, I'm going to make a bow with this ribbon that I got last year from Hobby Lobby. I just think it's beautiful. And this ribbon I got after Christmas. It was a Christmas ribbon, and it was like 75% off. And it came in a 2-pack. And I just thought this was really pretty, and I thought it would be really pretty with that floral ribbon. So I'm just fluffing my ribbons here, dovetailing the ends. And then I'm going to hot glue that to the top of the tags, and that's all there is for this DIY. I absolutely love this. I think it is just beautiful. You have to let me know what you think about that in the comment box below. I was so happy when I found those window clings. I've seen other people use them, and I didn't think I was going to be able to find them, and I finally found them. Here's DIY number 3. So for this DIY, I am going to use my Chalk Couture chalk paste in the color Bright White, my chalkboard paint from Dollar Tree, this Chalk Couture transfer. This is called Farmhouse Tile Pattern. And then this sign I got from Hobby Lobby last year after the 4th of July. It was like 75% off. So I got it for like around $4. And so I'm going to start off by removing that galvanized piece. Now it had a little nail on each end, but they came out really easy. I'm just using my Cricut spatula here, just going underneath to loosen all that glue. And it didn't take much pressure to pull up, and that little nail pops right out. But then once I have this all off, and it will just be 1 second here and it will be off, then I'm going to paint it. I paint the front and the back with my chalkboard paint. Then I'm just going to take my transfer here. Now our transfers, if you're not familiar with Chalk Couture, they are adhesive. So we do want to fuzz it so that way it doesn't, it's not so strong that it pulls up the paint or stretches out the transfer. And I have to admit, I did this and I did not fuzz it enough, because when I pulled it up, it did pull off some of the paint. Plus I used some older chalk paste that was already thick and it just looked nasty. So the nice thing about this was I just took it and washed it off, repainted it, and reapplied it, and it came out perfectly the second time. So here I'm just laying it on there. This is the second time. I'm taking my good chalk paste and I'm just using my squeegee to go all the way around this print. Now this is a huge transfer, and I'm using my mini squeegee, and I realized, what am I doing? I have a bigger squeegee. I should be using that so it will go faster, because if you don't go very fast, that chalk paste can dry and then it will pull up with your transfer. So here I'm just pulling up the part that I did and then laying it down loosely so it doesn't pull up that dried chalk paste. Then I took my bigger squeegee here and I'm just going over the rest of it. As you can see, I did tape off my sign there because I didn't want to go past that point. So I'm just watching as I'm putting on the paste to make sure I don't go past that tape. And then I pull it off, and oh, it is so beautiful. I love this transfer. And while that was drying, I painted my welcome sign with my white, and then I'm just using some super glue and hot glue to glue it in place. And after that, I'm going to create a bow. But first, if you're new here, I want to say welcome. I am so glad you stopped by today. If you are enjoying today's video, and if you like home decor on a budget, thrift flips, holiday decor, gift ideas, then I would invite you to hit that red subscribe button and become part of our family. And then let me know in the comment box that you are new here. I love to get to know my subscribers, and then make sure you hit that notification bell and set it to all so you're notified whenever I upload a video, which usually is on Mondays at 5. Unless I am participating in challenges, then I will add some days to my week as well. And if you guys like today's video, don't forget to give me that thumbs up and comment. That does help my channel grow, and that way YouTube's algorithm will push my videos out for more people to see. So once I had my bow made by doing the awareness ribbon, scrunching it up in the middle, tying the twine around it, I fluffed it and dovetailed it. I am now adding some boxwood greenery right behind. I'm putting it right between the ribbon and the twine there. And then I am just going to hot glue that right on top of my sign. I love this, guys. As you can see on the bottom, I had clips. I was just clipping down where the hot glue and giving it time to set. But I love this sign. I used the hanger that came off of it. I'm hot gluing it down, and then I'm going to take the parts of the ribbon that I cut off when I dovetailed it, and I'm just going to cover the ends with that. And after that, I think I'm done. You could cover the back if you want. I may go back and cover the back with some shipping paper. Haven't decided, but yeah, that's all there is for this one. And I'm sorry, I kept that on there for so long, showing me holding that down. Oh my goodness. I was talking to my son while I was editing, and it was a really good talk. So I guess I just spaced it. Okay, so here it is. I absolutely love how this came out. You'll have to let me know what you think about this one as well. And again, I am a Chalk Couture designer, so if you have any questions, you can always email me. I'd be happy to answer it, or check out my link that's in the description box below. the last DIY number 4. So for this DIY, I'm going to use some of this metal ribbon I got from Dollar Tree. I'm going to use some tumbling tower blocks from Dollar Tree. I am going to use some finial caps. I think I got these from Walmart. I'm going to use this bamboo wood cutting board from Dollar Tree, and then my Waverly chalk paints in the color Plaster and Elephant. So I'm starting off by making the legs for my riser that we're making, and I'm just using wood glue and hot glue, and I'm gluing 2 pieces together just like you see there. And after I do that, I'm going to do all 4, and I guess I don't even know how to say, you know, I have glue on the edge of one, and then I'm just gluing it up to the front of the other one. I guess that's how you would say it. Anyways, after I have 4 of those made, I am just going to attach them to my cutting board by adding the wood glue and the hot glue to the top of those legs, and then, and then holding them in place. And again, the hot glue is for the immediate hold. The wood glue is for the permanent hold. And that one, it felt like it was a little loose, so I just added some hot glue in the middle, which you could do, or in the back for any of them if you wanted. And then after that, I took those finial caps, and I am just using my wood glue and hot glue again and adding them onto the bottom of those legs to be the feet. And I think maybe I just used wood glue. I thought I used hot glue. Anyway, so after that, I took some of this metal ribbon, and I'm just measuring them down to size and cutting them out. And then I use since it's metal, I used super glue in the middle, and then just a little bit of hot glue on the edges to keep it in place. And then after I did that, I did set it aside for a little bit to really set in. And then when it was ready, I took my plaster chalk paint and gave it all a good brushing of plaster. And then once that was dry, I took my elephant, and I am just distressing all around that. And that's all there is for this. It's super easy, but I think it is adorable. I love the little lace trim there. Oh, I just love this riser. You'll have to let me know what you think about this one as well. And make sure you check out Kathy's video and her channel. I'll have links to both in my description box, and tell her I sent you. And then, okay, here's DIY number 1. So for this DIY, I'm going to use some of these beaded garlands that I got from Walmart at Christmas time. I think there's 6 of these skewer sticks that I got from Dollar Tree. This hexagon plaque from Dollar Tree. And this hexagon plaque from Dollar Tree. I guess the other one you'd consider a wood piece, right? Anyways, 2 of these hexagon little boxes that I got from Dollar Tree in the $3 plus section. And then my Rust-Oleum chalk paint in the color Linen White. And I also use ink by Waverly. So I'm starting off by cutting the tips of each one of those off. I cut one of them. I cut the tips off of one, and here I'm using my pencil just to kind of mark each one, because, you know, sometimes these things are not all the same size. So I just wanted to make sure that the tips were cut at the same point. I hope that makes sense. But anyway, so once I got these all cut, I took my beads and I just put beads on the skewers, and there was about 22 on each skewer. So and then I'm going to put hot glue on the ends of each to keep them from coming out. If you are going to recreate these, you could use, you know, any kind of beads that you might have. So after that, I took some painter's tape, and I laid them. I would lay 1 skewer of beads on top of my painter's tape to hold them in place. Paint it all with my white chalk paint there, and then once they were dry, I'd flip it over and paint the other side. This is my favorite way. I know there's other people that do it other ways, but this is my favorite way to paint beads. Then after that, I had painted everything white. I took my vinyl here. I decided while I was painting those beads that I wanted to add some of this buffalo check vinyl from Dollar Tree. So I took it, and I am just placing it inside of this hexagon piece that had the chalkboard on it. And as you can see, I had painted it white, but this is where I kind of had thought, you know, this would be really cute with the buffalo check vinyl. So I added that on, and then I used my knife there to trim off the excess, and then I'm just adding some more onto the wood cube there and trimmed it off as well. And then now I'm just using my hot glue to glue the smaller piece on top of that bigger one. And then I'm taking the big box, the big hexagon box, and I'm going to glue using hot glue that onto the bigger box there. And after that, I decided I wanted to have some more of this vinyl going along the edge of the top. This is the top, and then I also do this on the bottom. So I just go around putting it all around the edge. And then I'm just using my hot glue. I'm putting a big dab. I didn't do it this way on the first one, but I did end up going around just putting the hot glue in each corner, and then I added the beads just like you see there. And then I just held it there in place to make sure that it was firm. And I put a lot of hot glue on the bottom, you guys. I put a big puddle so that it would soak in. Then I'm doing that same thing on the top, and then I just place it over the beads there, and then I'm just making sure that each one of them are going into the corners there. After that, I took my ink chalk paint and my little chip brush, and I'm just going around and distressing, and I distressed the beads and all around the lantern. Then I took some more of these beads and I painted them white, and then I distressed them, and I took some, this is a floral wire, the thicker kind that has the little fabric around it. Anyways, I just cut it down to size. Here I'm using my needle nose pliers to curl up the ends so that the beads stay on. And then after I have that all curled so that the beads are on, I think I added, I don't show this, but I'm pretty sure I added some hot glue. Yeah, I'm adding hot glue on it to kind of keep them. Oh, I guess I just did it to add them on top. I don't know, guys. I think I added some on the ends and then added some more to hot glue it on the top. But anyways, there it is. You'll have to let me know what you think about this in the comment box below. So for this DIY, I'm going to take some of this beautiful ribbon I just found at Walmart with their fall ribbons. Oh, it was beautiful. I had to buy 2 of them. And then I'm going to use my ink and plaster chalk paints by Waverly, this stencil from Dollar Tree, 2 of these wood and cork signs that I got from Dollar Tree this summer, and then some more of that vinyl. So I start off by taking my ink chalk paint, and I'm going to paint all around the edge of both of these signs, just like you see me doing. And then once they were dry, I went ahead and I painted the whole back as well. You could tape off the cork if you'd like. I didn't. I kind of wish I would have. But once they were dry, I did tape off those edges on one of them because I'm going to paint that middle part, the cork part, with my plaster chalk paint. So as soon as I have this all covered up, I'm going to paint that. If you're new here, I just want to say welcome. My name is Brenda. I am so glad you stopped by today. If you like what you see and you like home decor on a budget, thrift flips, gift ideas, and holiday decor, then I invite you to hit that red subscribe button and become part of our family. And then let me know in the comment box that you're new here. I love to get to know you, and make sure you hit that notification bell so you're notified every time I upload a video. Okay, so after I painted the white there, or the plaster, I did do 2 coats, but I put my little stencil on here, and you guys, I did not realize that this top part of the stencil was going to move. And so you see me here using my fingers trying to hold it down, because as I started pouncing up and down, it was moving, coming up and down, and I was so afraid it was going to bleed. So I'm just trying to use my fingers to hold those pieces down. And I was so excited when I pulled this up and saw that the only extra paint that was on there was from me going over past where the painter's tape was, but it looks really good. So I just touched up those little areas that I got the extra paint on. And then I'm just doing my dry brushing here with my Waverly chalk paint and the color ink and my chip brush. And then after that, I'm going to add some vinyl to the other side. So I'm just laying it down over the cork. I scored it with my finger, and then I'm just taking a pin and going around and just kind of tracing where I want to cut it. And then after I had it all scored and traced out, I just used my scissors to cut it out. And then I just laid it on top, and if there was any areas where I saw ink or if it was a little too big in a few areas, I just trimmed it with my X-Acto knife. And after I had that all on, I'm going to cut out the hole. So I just turned it over and I'm using my X-Acto knife to cut the vinyl away from that hole of the tag there. After that, I'm going to use some of this ribbon. Oh, I just love this ribbon. I can't wait to use more of it. And I'm just going to, I'm cutting it down and I'm going to hot glue it right on the bottom here of this sign. And then once I have that all hot glued on, I'm going to take some of this chicken wire that I got from Dollar Tree this summer. And this was just some excess from a previous project that I had laying around, and I'm just kind of straightening it out, and I'm just going to put it on top of that fabric, and I am just twisting the ends all around the sign. Now be very careful if you are working with this, because those ends are very sharp. In fact, if you have rubber gloves, that's probably better to use rubber gloves, but I was just trying to be really careful. And then I just tacked a few areas down with some hot glue. After that, I took the one of the hangers that came off those signs, and I just placed it back in between, or through both of those signs, and then I'm using my hot glue here to attach them together. After that, I'm going to make a bow using making the awareness ribbon, scrunching it up, and then tying some twine around it. You can see there I used a clip because I'm making two bows to hold that first one together. Then I'll just wrap some twine around it. This was one of the hangers too, I think, so I just had to untie it there, wrap it around, tie it in a knot. But when I get it all done and I start fluffing it, I realize, oh man, I wanted the chicken ribbon in the front, not the buffalo check. So you'll see here, after I get done, I realize I had twisted I don't know what I did. It wasn't tight enough, so I had to make it tighter. That's why I was fiddling with it. But here I'm going to turn it around, and then I'm going to realize, oh, I forgot. I wanted the other one. So I undid it and put the chicken ribbon on the front, and then I just hot glued it to the top there. Then I realized this I should have done before I connected those, well, before I put the ribbon on and connected them together. But I'm just adding twine all around the edge of where that cork board was. I did have to kind of weave it in and out of the where I have the chicken wire down there, but I got it all in there and work. And there it is. I love this one so much. I just love that that ribbon. I just think it's beautiful. You'll have to let me know what you think about this one as well. Is DIY number 3. So for this DIY, I'm going to use some more of this vinyl from Dollar Tree. I got these rub-on transfers recently from Amazon, and I will try to have those in my Amazon store. I am going to use one of these wood rounds from Dollar Tree, and then I'm going to use my Rust-Oleum chalk paint in the linen white, and my Waverly chalk paint in the color ink. So I start off by measuring, I think it was about 3 inches from the top and the bottom, and just making a line. And then I painted the middle part with my white chalk paint, and here I'm just going over with my black, and I'm distressing. Now I don't know why I'm distressing around the edges, because you're really not going to see it because I'm going to put vinyl there, but I did it. Then I took this rub-on transfer. I thought it was so cute, and I was so excited about it, and I started rubbing, and I rubbed, 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 and I rubbed some more, and it was just not wanting to stick. And I don't know if my paint was still wet maybe, but it was pulling up the paint, and it was not it was pulling up the paint and pulling up some of the image, and it wasn't sticking, and I was just getting so frustrated, but I kept trying and nothing would work. So I ended up having to just pull off that top layer, and then I sanded it down, repainted it, and then I grabbed this one from this decal from that pack. And so I went ahead and did the same thing. This time I just kind of focused more on each area and then slowly pulled the paper back, and if I saw that it was pulling up any of the image, I would put it back down and rub some more. And I just was really patient with it. As you can see here, I'm just kind of working it, checking to see if it's coming up, working it some more, checking to see if it's coming up. And I just did this the whole way through until I was sure that it wasn't going to come up. And you'll see here in just a moment here, I'm just kind of holding some of it down with my finger. And then because sometimes some of the edge was kind of trying to come up, but you could tell the image was staying down. And then I just pulled that off very slowly. Then after that, I just traced out the top and the bottom parts of that wood round onto my vinyl there, and then cut them out. And then I'm just going to use my vinyl and put it on the bottom and the top areas that were not painted, just like you see me doing right here. And once I had that all on, I did that on the top as well. After that, I took some of this braided ribbon that I have from Amazon. I love it. It's in my Amazon store, but unfortunately that's out of stock right now, which makes me sad because I'm getting low and I love this stuff and I hope they get some more in soon. But I just go over where the edge of the vinyl meets the wood round on the top and the bottom. And then I just made another bow with some of that black buffalo check ribbon, and I took some boxwood greenery from Walmart, and I'm just going to hot glue some in place here on the top, and then I'm going to hot glue that bow right above it. If you guys are enjoying today's video, make sure you give me that thumbs up and comment, because you all know that really does help my channel grow, and I greatly appreciate it. And after I get this bow on there, I'm sorry, I'm showing you so much of this one again. Oh my goodness. I am going to get a sunflower. I just bought these sunflowers at Dollar Tree because I remember last year fall was almost over and I couldn't find any sunflowers and I wanted one. So I just took one, hot glued it there, and then I'm just using that same braided ribbon to make a hanger, and that's all there was for this one. And I really like the way it came out. I wish the other cow decal would have worked out, but this one is really cute too. You'll have to let me know what you think about this one and which one is your favorite out of today's DIYs. And your final reveal is coming right up, so make sure you check out the DIY number 3. So for this DIY, I am going to take one of these fresh flower market signs from Dollar Tree. This is a frame from a canvas picture that I had previously used. I'm going to use my Chalk Couture transfer and my bright white chalk paste, my elephant and white Waverly chalk paint, and then this glass candlestick. So I started off by removing that hanger from the sign and those staples, and then also the tags that are stuck on there. Once I got that all removed, and I'm going to remove those staples, and then I'm going to sand it down and paint it with black chalkboard paint. If you're new here, I just want to say welcome. My name is Brenda. I am so glad you joined today. If you like home decor on a budget, holiday decor, thrift flips, gift ideas, then hit that red subscribe button, become part of our family, and then let me know you are new. I'd love to get to know you. And even if you're returning, make sure you give me that thumbs up and comment. That really helps my channel grow. So once I was done painting that sign, I painted this frame with my Waverly chalk paint in the color white, and I painted the candlestick as well. After they were both dry, I took my elephant chalk paint and I went around and distressed the candlestick all the way around it, as well as distressing that frame. And that frame, if you saw, I had a thrift flip challenge the beginning of the month that I had made a sign with a bird canvas. That's is the back of that canvas. So here I am just fuzzing my Chalk Couture transfer because this is the first time I used it, and it took me a while to get it where I wanted it. I still think it might have been a little crooked, but I got it on here, and I'm just going to cover it with my chalk paste. If you have never tried Chalk Couture and you are interested in it, we do have what we call the Club Couture, and it is $19.99 a month. You get 3 single pastes, a squeegee, and an exclusive transfer every month. And it's a great way to try it out if you're interested. If you are interested, just click on my link in my description box or email me if you have any questions. So once it was all dry, I'm taking this frame and I'm just hot gluing it to, well, I used hot glue and wood glue to the front of that sign. And then after that, I just took some shipping paper I got from Dollar Tree and I just covered up the back, and then I trimmed it all down. And then I took this little, it's like a flower, a wood flower. I got it in a pack from Hobby Lobby and I painted it white. And I just hot glued it on top of that candlestick. I just felt like it would help this sign adhere a little better. And then I just used hot glue to attach that. Then I'm just going to make a simple shoestring bow here out of my gingham ribbon, and I'm going to hot glue that right in front, just like you see there. But first I got to trim it and dovetail the ends, of course. And then after I am done with that, I decided to take some of those half beads that I have in my Amazon store, and I am hot gluing them on each corner of the sign, and there it is. And I love it, you guys. I absolutely love this too. You have to let me know what you think about this as well. And again, if you have any questions about Chalk Couture, feel free to email. And I love this one too, you guys. Another one that had lots of painting, but I love it. So I'm taking this beach word that I got from Dollar Tree this year, and then this that I got from Dollar Tree this year, and then this is another new color by Waverly called Sandstone, and I really love that one too. And so then I'm also going to use Pool, and I'm going to use Lagoon. I'm going to use all my Lagoon in the next couple of days, and then Peacock, and then Ocean. So I am going to start off by taking my little screwdriver set and removing that Seize the Day, because I do want to use that on something else. I don't know when, but I will use it on something else. And then it was not only screwed down, but it was also glued down. So I'm just using my heat gun and my Cricut spatula to remove it. And it removes pretty easy. And then look, they have it painted with the same Seize the Day. I thought that was kind of funny. Anyways, I just turned it over and I painted that with the sandstone. And then I'm going to paint just like a quarter of the top of that word with my ocean color, and I do the front, the sides. I don't do the back because I just paint the whole back with the ocean, but I'm going to do the inside of the letters, just kind of making it all even about a quarter of the way down. Then I'm taking my Peacock color, and I'm going right below it about another quarter of the way, maybe even a little bit more of a quarter. I think I go like to the bottom part of the top part of the B. Does that make sense? Anyways, I do the same, going all the way across the word and inside each letter and on the sides. And then once I get that one done, I'm sorry, I thought I'd cut this out a little bit more, but I wanted you to get a good idea of what I was doing. Then I took my Lagoon and I am painting the next strip, and then once I was done with that, I took my Pool and I'm doing the bottom part of it, and I just do the same thing as I did with all the rest. As you can see on that Lagoon, I took some of the, I think it was Peacock, and I just kind of brushed through it with my little bit of a brush to make it kind of look like waves. And now I'm just taking some of the Pool and I'm going through the letters and just trying to make waves. Now that I felt like was a little bit too much, so I do kind of go in, I add a little bit of the Lagoon, and then I add a little bit of the Ocean just to kind of cover up some of it until I had it the way I liked it. And you guys, I told my husband I really like this. And then when I started editing, the more I looked at the picture, the more I fell in love with this one. So here I'm just, like I said, using the ocean to kind of go around and cover up some of that I just thought was a little too much. And then I just really darkened it some so it's not as apparent, and I just love it. Anyways, so here I'm taking some wood glue, and the bottom of that word is flattened off in different areas. So I'm just using the wood glue to go over the flattened areas. And I was going to do my hot glue and realize, oop, I missed one. So then I'm going to do just on the ends some hot glue. And that's of course for the immediate hold, and the wood glue is for permanent hold. And then after that, I did go in with that pool color and just kind of painted in some wavy lines going down into that bottom part. And now I'm taking my plaster color and I am just stimpling in with my brush, just kind of going in. I wanted it to look like waves, and I'm going all the way around those curved parts. And you guys, I am not a painter at all. I'm not an artist, and my dad is an amazing artist, and I'm not. I didn't get those genes, but I was so proud of myself. I think it's just from watching other people. Connie, who's on this playlist, she's an amazing painter, and Sarah with Jujube DIY, she's an amazing painter, and I think I learned tips from them. I don't know, but so here I'm just trying to make some more little bit of waves along that, and then I'm going to take my sandstone once it was dry, and I'm just kind of going to brush into that with the sandstone as well. So if you're new here, I just want to say welcome. My name is Brenda. I am so glad you joined me today. If you like what you see, I would invite you to hit that red subscribe button, and then let me know in the comment box you are here. And then I would love if all of you guys like today's video, make sure you give me that thumbs up and comment. That helps my channel grow, and I greatly appreciate it. So here I'm just adding some seashells to that. And that's all there is for this one. And like I said, the more I look at it, the more I just love it. To me, I feel like it's something you would see at a store, and I love it. You'll have to let me know what you think of this one too. Okay, here's DIY number 1. So for this DIY, I'm going to use some chicken wire ribbon that I got from Hobby Lobby, these wooden eggs from Dollar Tree, this tag sign I got at Christmas time from Dollar Tree, these stickers from Dollar Tree, and my Waverly chalk paints in the color white and elephant. So I'm going to start off by getting that paper off of the front of that sign. I'm just using my hot glue gun here to loosen up the glue behind that paper. And then I will just rip off that top layer. And once I get it all torn off, then I am going to wet it down with some water. I'm going to do spritzing quite a bit on there, and then I'm using my Cricut spatula to just scrape off that excess paper. And then once that is all done, I will use my Waverly chalk paint in the color white, and I'm going to give it a good painting on both sides. Since this is going to be on a tier tray, I did want to have the backs looking nice and pretty. So after I have that all done and dry, I took my elephant chalk paint and a little chippy brush I got from Plaid, and I'm just distressing all around the front and the back and the sides there. And then after that, I'm going to take some of this chicken wire, and I'm just going to cut a little bit of this here. And I wanted to make a basket. I kind of wanted it to be a little bit of a basket. So I'm just playing around with it and forming it until I got it the shape that I wanted. So there I'm just tucking in the ends so that there was no ends sticking out to poke me. And then I just kind of form it like I said, and then once I had it in the shape I liked, I'm just hot gluing it to that tag sign. Then I took 3 of those wooden eggs and I'm painting them all 3 with my Waverly chalk paint in the color white, and I only did one side. Then I did some distressing with the elephant chalk paint as well. And then I hot glued them. I took some, well, I'll do this first. I took my ruler and the stickers and I'm just putting on here farm fresh eggs. What I was going to say is I took some raffia. I didn't show this, but I grabbed some raffia and hot glued it to the bottom of that little basket and then hot glued those eggs in there. And I guess I must have forgot to hit record or something because I did not have that on my phone when I looked. So after I had the stickers all on here, I took a marker and I colored in those letters have some white spots on them, so I just colored them in with my black marker, and then I added a little rooster from those stickers, and then I am just making just a simple shoestring bow with this black gingham ribbon I got from Dollar Tree. And then once I have that all done, I'm going to trim it and dovetail the ends. And then I'm going to hot glue that right at the top where that hole is there for the hanger. We're not going to need the hanger, so I'm going to glue it right over it so that way it hides it. And then I made a little shoestring bow with some twine, and I'm just going to add it on top of that gingham bow. And then I just took a tumbling tower block that I had that was already painted white and hot glued it to the back. And there it is, and you'll have to let me know what you think of this. I love it. I think it is so farmhouse, and that is what I'm doing today. Farmhouse tiered tray decor, and I love it. DIY number 2. So for this DIY, I took this little barn ornament that I got from Dollar Tree at Christmas time. I took this decal I got from Cricut Design Space, and then I'm going to use my Waverly chalk paint in the color white and elephant. And I'm going to start off with using my heat gun again. This little piece on the barn comes off, and so I'm just trying to get the hot glue or the glue underneath it to melt so that I can pull it off. And I'm just using this scraper here to get underneath it and get it off, and then I use the heat gun to get the rest of that paper off. Oh my goodness, I'm stumbling with my words today. Sorry about that, guys. So then I just painted this barn with my white chalk paint. Now, if you don't have one of these and you want a barn shape, I will have one in my Amazon store. I did see they had some on Amazon, and you could probably find them on Etsy too. If I see some, I will have a link for them as well. So I'm just, after it was dry, I just did some more oh my goodness, distressing with my gray elephant chalk paint. And then I just hot glued that little piece back on, and I distressed that one as well. And then after I am done with that one, I took my decal and I'm just putting it right in the middle there, just like you see. And I am going to then take some twine and I wrap it around my hand about 10 times. And then I am just going to scrunch it up in the middle. And I'm going to wrap one of those ends of the twine one direction, the other end the other direction. And then when they come together, tie a knot, making a bow. And I don't know if they call this a messy bow or I don't remember. I know I forget the name of this kind of bow all the time, guys. I'm sorry. But I just hot glue that at the top. And then I just took 3 tumbling tower blocks. I painted them white, actually 4 there. But I'm hot gluing 3 of them together. And then I'm going to hot glue the top of that or the bottom of that barn right to that to make a little stand. And then I'm going to use one of that last tumbling tower block just to kind of keep it still. I don't know, extra support, I guess. And there it is. You'll have to let me know what you think about it, but I love it. Oh my gosh, and I just think it is so cute. Here's DIY number 3. So for this DIY, I created these decals with my Cricut, sorry, and I'm going to use, I actually used 3 of those 5-gallon paint stir sticks, a couple of jumbo jumbo craft sticks from Walmart, and then those wood sticks I get from Amazon. They are in my Amazon store. 2 of these large signs from Dollar Tree, and then my Waverly chalk paints in the color white and elephant. So you've probably seen me do this on a few signs that I've done recently, but I am just removing the little pieces that stick up. And then I am going to remove some of that paper because I'm removing the hanger and the staples too, but then I'm going to remove some of the paper because it hangs over the edge and I don't want you to be able to see it. So I'm just going to remove as much as I can that's hanging over the edge. I also tried to remove as much as I could of the glitter, and then the parts that still had glitter on it that I couldn't remove, I just scraped with my Cricut spatula there, and then I vacuumed up all the glitter with my cute little ladybug vacuum. Then I'm just going to use some wood glue and hot glue on that yardstick and put it right in the middle there. And then I'm taking the jumbo craft sticks and putting one on each end. Then I ended up putting another gallon stir stick, 5-gallon, on each end of the longwise of the back there, just so it was all even. Then here I am measuring out these little sticks to go around and be the frame for my picture, and I painted them with my elephant. Then I painted the board here with my white, and then I'm just doing some distressing with that elephant. And then I'm just going to add my decals here. It says, soak away your troubles in a bath full of bubbles. And for me, I love my bath. I love my bubble bath, and honestly, in the winter time, I can almost every night go in and just relax in the bathtub, and I just love it. And so I really wanted to have a sign like this in my bathroom. So this is something I've been wanting to do for a while, and I finally decided, okay, we're going to do this. So yeah, I'm just adding all of these. And yeah, you'll see the final in a little bit. And then I will glue the trim all around it as well. If you're new here, I just want to say welcome. My name is Brenda. I am so happy you stopped by today. If you like home decor on a budget, as well as holiday decor, thrift flips, and gift ideas, then hit that red subscribe button and become part of our family, and then hit the notification bell so you are notified whenever I upload a video. My normal upload time is Mondays at 5 o'clock right now, but I do also participate in challenges during the week as well. And if you like this video, make sure you guys give me that thumbs up and comment, because you know that helps my channel grow. It lets YouTube know you like my content and will promote it out there even more. And I do appreciate it. So after I had the trim all on there, I decided it needed a little bit something more. So I went ahead and I printed out this little bathtub. I got it from Cricut Design Space, and these bubbles. And I printed them all out, and then I'm adding them to the sign. And then I just decided to go ahead and make a bow, because I was thinking that the trim would cover where those staples were, but they didn't, and you could kind of see it. So I wanted to cover it up. I didn't want to be able to see it, so that's why I'm making this bow. I'm just doing the awareness ribbon, scrunching it up, tying some jute twine in the middle, and then dovetailing the ends. Super simple, super easy. And then I'm just going to hot glue it there and cover that staple mark up. And that's all there is for this. No, it's not. I'm going to add a hanger and with some of this buffalo check ribbon, and then I'm going to use some shipping paper to cover up that ugly back. That's the end of it. So there it is. I love it. I can't wait to hang it up in my bathroom. You'll have to let me know what you think about this one as well. Final DIY number 6. So for this DIY, I am taking this boxwood greenery I got from Walmart. Some of these balloons I got like a year and a half ago at Dollar Tree. These foam dice from Dollar Tree. This bathtub I got last year from Dollar Tree in the toy section. I'm not sure if it's still available. The white Waverly chalk paint in the color white, elephant, and then some of these garage sale poster stickers. So I'm going to start off by taking my balloons here and I am going to stretch them over these dice. Now, the balloons, I don't know if they are just an off-white or if it's because they've been sitting for a while, their color got ugly. So, I decided to paint them. So I went ahead with my Waverly chalk paint, the color white, and gave them all a good painting. Now, I let them air dry, and they did give me kind of that crackle look, which was fine with me because I am going to distress it. And it just adds to that farmhouse old rustic look. But just letting you know. Then I painted that bathtub. I know it's white, but I wanted to get rid of that shine. And once it was dry, I'm just going over the rim with my black Sharpie to make it look like an enamel around a bathtub, like the old bathtubs. And then I did that around the foot and the base. Now, if you can't find one of these bathtubs, you could easily do this project with like the little terracotta pots, or if you can find like a smaller planter to put on top, anything, you know, just use your imagination. So after it was all dry brushed, I took the stickers and I spell out the word bath. And then after that, I am going to glue each one of those together side by side. And I'm just making sure that the bottom piece, and I did use, of the balloon here, I did use a little bit of hot glue on the bottom pieces to kind of keep them closed together. But I'm just making sure that bottom piece where the hole is on the bottom of each of these dice. And then I'm hot gluing them together. And then I'm going to hot glue that tub right on top. And then I decided to go ahead and fill it with some greenery and a candle, but you could definitely use this for anything. You could put your soaps in it. You could use it to hold your toothbrush and toothpaste or lotions, or, you know, just about anything you want. It's just a planter or a holder or whatever. So, but I just wanted to add another candle to it because I love candles in the bathtub, or when I'm in the bathtub, and some greenery. And there it is. I added a little bit of the boxwood around the bathtub there, and that's all there was for this one. I really love this one too. You'll have to let me know what you think about this one and which one was your favorite in the comment box, and if you think free. So for this DIY, I'm going to use this, I think it was a 12-inch chunky piece from Dollar Tree. This hexagon piece that I got from Dollar Tree just recently, and my pumpkin chalk paint and my ivory chalk paint, both by Waverly, some sticks that I got from Amazon, and my Dollar Tree rub-on transfers that I actually found last year after the fall. So I'm going to start off by removing that top part of this piece. Now, I did have to use my heat gun a little bit to loosen that glue, and then I just used my Cricut spatula, found a spot where I could get in and just start pulling it up very carefully. And then once I get this off, which it didn't take too long, but you just want to make sure you're pulling it off. I really loved it when it was going under the paper. That makes it a lot easier. But once I got that top layer of the paper off, then I squirted it with my water here, and I'm going to scrape it all off with my Cricut spatula there. And then after I had it all off, the paper all removed and the glue, the adhesive removed, I painted it with my ivory chalk paint as well as with that chunky piece, and then the top part orange like you see there. Then I'm just going to add my rub-on transfers, and these transfers, you guys, are just so beautiful. I just can't get over it. But I'm just using a little stick here to rub them on. And then once I had it all done, I just lift up that top piece, and then I added the other ones. And here I'm just adding, I added a few small leaves on this one because the other two pictures were a little bit bigger. So I just kind of wanted to make sure it filled in a little bit more of that space. And then once I was done with that, I took some super glue here, and I'm going to take some hot glue, and I'm going to go all the way around this piece, starting with my super glue. And then in the areas that I did not add the super glue, I added the hot glue. And of course, most of you probably know that we use the super glue for permanent hold, and then the hot glue for the immediate hold, so that I can continue working and getting my crafts done. So here I'm just adding my hot glue, and then I'm going to attach it back onto the top part of that hexagon, which is going to be pumpkins, is what it is. Now, I saw this about 3 weeks ago. I got this piece, and I saw it at Dollar Tree, and I knew right away when I saw it that I wanted to make these into pumpkins. And I was originally going to add some like colorful paper, fall paper inside of it, but then I remembered I had those decals, and I love the way this came out. So as you see there, I used my wood glue and hot glue to glue it onto my chunky little wood strip there, and then I'm adding these wood, little wood pieces on top, and then I had just some leaves from a floral pick that I had previously, and I'm just hot gluing them onto my pumpkins as well. Normally when I do this, I add the fall leaves, but I just thought, you know, this would look really pretty with just these simple, regular leaves. And I really love, like I said, I love the way this came out. It is so me. So then I took some of this orange gingham ribbon that I got from Dollar Tree. I'm just making a simple shoelace bow, but I'm not making it look simple here because I just could not get it to lay right. So I keep playing around and around and around with it until I finally have it looking the way I want it, and then I just dovetail. And as you can see, I made 3 of these, and I put one on each of my little pumpkins, and I'm just using hot glue on the back to glue them on. And as you can see, I also put some of those rub-on decals on that wood piece that's holding the pumpkins there too. Then I thought, you know what? I don't have very much more of this ribbon left. Well, let's go ahead and wrap the base with it. So I'm going to add some hot glue, and I'm just going to wrap that ribbon around. And I just, I go all the way around. Now, if you want to recreate this, you could easily make this a double-sided, like if it's going to be somewhere that's not going to have a back and they can see 2 sides, you could easily add more of those rub-on transfers, or you could paint something, you could use stickers, you could use fall paper on the back, you could do a lot of things that make this a double-sided. But there it is. I just love it. You'll have to let me know what you think about this one as well, and which one is your favorite out of today's projects. And so here comes the Okay, so for the next project, I used 4 of these little fence crates, a picture from Dollar Tree, some boxwood, I think I got that from Walmart, and then some floral foam. So I start off by trying to take the hangers off, and I tell you, they have them stapled in there, and they are stapled good. I was trying all kinds of things to get it off, and finally I used this little like pick, and that was the best thing to really get underneath the leftover rope there to get it off. But I finally got them all off. And then I just, I'm sorry, I didn't show this, but I did paint all of them with my plaster color chalk paint. So once they were all painted, here I'm just using some hot glue, and I'm using the Surebonder wood glue sticks, and I'm just going to glue all of the little fence pallets to that picture, which is now going to be kind of like a stand inside. Then once I had them all on, I took some of the floral foam, and I'm just cutting it down to fit inside there, and then just using a little bit of hot glue just to keep it in place. Then I'm just going to cut down the boxwood, and I'm just going to start filling up the floral foam with the boxwood. And I did use 2 bushes, and I just filling it all up. I decided, you know, I don't have a lot of greenery in my house. I cannot keep plants alive for the life of me. So, you know, fake plants do the best for me. So then I just took my antique wax. I decided I wanted to do some dry brushing on the fence here. Now, if you don't like dry brushing or distressing, you don't have to do that. You could just leave it like it was if you recreate it. But I liked a little bit of the distressing. And then my little Oliver, he came in to see me. He's laying in his little bed from my freshly cleaned craft room. If you haven't seen that video, I'll have a link for it in my description box so you can check out what I did to this room. Then after I got done talking to my puppy, I took this ribbon here that I got from Dollar Tree. It's the burlap and lace ribbon. I cut it down, and I'm just hot gluing it to the, wrapping it around and hot gluing it to the back of my little planter that I made. And then I'm just going to take the end of that ribbon and tuck it inside. That way it gives it a nice finished look in the back. And then after I have that all done, I'm going to take some more of that ribbon and I'm just going to make another bow, my Brenda bow, which you make the awareness sign and scrunch down the middle. Use something to tie the middle, which this time I'm just using twine instead of usually I use a twist tie. And I couldn't find the other end. It was hiding behind the tail there. So then I just tie a knot in this and then I trim it. And then I'm just going to dovetail the ends, fluff up the bow, and hot glue it right to the middle of the front on that ribbon there. And I think this came out looking so cute, and it's so simple, you guys. You'll have to let me know what you think of it as well, but I just think it's really cute. I love those fence palettes. I've always thought that they were just adorable. Okay, here's DIY number 1. So for this DIY, I'm going to use some jumbo craft sticks. I'm going to use these wood pieces that I got from Dollar Tree. I'm sorry I don't have the measurements on them. And I'm going to use 5 of them. I'm going to use this little piece that I got last year from a place called Basket Market that's here in Oklahoma City. It is part of Hobby Lobby. They send like their trial stuff or their stuff that's out of stock that they're not selling anymore, that kind of stuff there. And then all of these Waverly chalk paints. I have celery, dusk, pink cloud, and sandstone, and then I'm going to use my antique wax as well. So I'm going to start by using my heat gun to loosen that glue so that I can pull these 2 pieces apart. And so once I had it on there for a little bit, I just gently pulled and they came right apart. Then I'm going to paint the small pumpkin here with the sandstone. Then the next pumpkin will be celery, the next one with the pink cloud, and the last one dusk. And look how pretty they are. After that, I took the wood pieces and I'm just laying them out so there's a little bit of a gap in between each one. And then I'm going to use my craft sticks here to keep them attached. Now I'm just going to use some wood glue. I'm going to go along each of those wood pieces with my wood glue, and then I'm going to put some hot glue next to it, and then I'm going to attach my craft sticks on top of the glue there, and I'm going to do this on all 3 spots. Now I did it this way because I didn't want any glue to seep through the middle of those slats. Once it was done, I took my antique wax and I'm just brushing on my wax here. And then I'm going to take a paper towel and wipe off any excess, and I do this for the whole front and the whole back. After that, I took some of this lace ribbon I got at Dollar Tree, and I'm just making 2 simple shoestring bows, just like you see me doing here. And then instead of doing the dovetail, because it's a little hard with the lace ribbons to do dovetail, it doesn't quite look right, I decided to just do angles. So I'm just cutting the ends at an angle there. And after that, I'm going to take some raffia, and I'm just grabbing a bunch and using another piece of raffia to tie around to keep them together. And I'm just tying a knot, and then I just give it a haircut, and then I'm going to add to those two of the other pumpkins, just like you see right there. And I love how this looks. I think this is my favorite piece out of all the fall decor that I've made. So I'm just going to use some wood glue here and hot glue. I just put it all around this pumpkin, and then I'm going to attach the pumpkins to my wood sign here, just like you see. And then after that, I took this faux leather word that is called blessed, and I'm using my hot glue to glue it to the front of those pumpkins. And then after that, I'm taking some more hot glue and some Spanish moss, and I am just going to add that to the bottom of my pumpkins. And then after that, I'm just gonna take some jute twine and make some knots on the ends and hot glue them to the back as a hanger. And then I trimmed off the excess twine there, and that's all there was for this one. I absolutely love this. Like I said, I think this is my favorite from this year's fall decor that I've made. It's simple, but it's just beautiful. You have to let me know what you think about this in the comment box below. Okay, for this first DIY, I am using these clay. They're the lids, or the pieces that go underneath your planters. That wood charm from Dollar Tree, the wood round pieces from Dollar Tree. I got these. They're called traditional table legs from Home Depot, and I got those earlier this last year. So I start off by going in the garage. My husband is showing me how to make sure I have the right size bit to fit the screw that's on the bottom of those legs. And so once we've got the right bit, he's given me instructions on how to put it into his drill. And right there, I'm having to make sure the opening gets bigger. Now I stick the bit in and hold on tight and turn it on, and it sucks in that little bit. So there we go. So just making sure it was in correctly. So here I am just going to make some holes in my wood rounds and in that wood charm, so that we can screw those table legs right in to the bottoms. And he was helping me there. I didn't know exactly how far to go. He said you can like put tape on the end of your bit to kind of let you know where to stop it or mark it, but we just eyeballed it. So then once I was done, I just screwed this in tightly, and there it is. And I did the rest the same way, except for one of the small legs, we just pulled out the screw because I'm going to attach it to one of the taller ones. And that's what I'm doing here. I'm just using my super glue, wood glue that I got from Dollar Tree, and I'm putting it on the top of one of the taller candlesticks here. And I'm sorry, my hand is kind of covering it all, but I used way too much glue because, as you see here, when I put this on, it just goes squirting out everywhere. So I clean it up. And then I set it aside to dry. So then I used my E6000, and I am going to put this on the top of each one of the candlesticks. And then I'm just going to use the bottom piece that goes to your clay planters. And I am just going to center it as best as I can and put it on the top of each one, just like you see me doing there. I didn't show this on here, but I did cover those holes with some spackling as well. Then I painted each one of those with my Waverly chalk paint in the color Elephant, and once they were dry, I take my Folk Art white wax and I just go over and do a big dry brushing all along the edges and some in the middle, but when you go over the edges like that, it just really makes it pop. And I absolutely love the way this came out. I think they are just gorgeous, and yeah, they're just beautiful. I love it. If you're new here, I just want to say welcome. I am so glad you joined us. If you like home decor on a budget, as well as holiday decor, thrift flips, gift ideas, and occasional Dollar Tree haul, then hit that subscribe button, become part of our family, hit that notification bell so you know when I upload a video, which is usually on Wednesdays. Unless I am participating in a collaboration, there may be some extra videos for you. So once that was all done, as you can see, I did the tops and the bottoms as well. I took some jute rope. This I got from Walmart, And I'm just going to wrap some of that around the bottom and then tie a knot. And then I'm going to wrap it around the top and tie a knot. Now, this is optional, of course. If you don't like the more rustic look, you don't have to add the ribbon or the rope. You could use ribbon instead, or you could just leave it blank, or you could add some bling if you're more into that. This is just kind of for some inspiration, and this is what I really liked. So then I just took my lighter and I'm just going around and getting all the fuzzies off. Now, if you're scared of doing that, that's okay, but I was too. And then when I tried it, I made sure I had water next to me just in case, and it works great. So then here I am doing the top part, and I don't know if you can notice, but I did not get that top part on even when I glued the tops on, and then I left them overnight, and when I came in the next morning, I noticed that small one, it was so crooked, but well, that'll be the back part of it. You won't be able to notice, but there they are, and I just love them. I think they are beautiful, and I can't wait to put them up. You have to let me know what you think. Let me know if you think you like it with the jute rope there, or if you think I should just take it off and leave it without the rope. I'd love to see your comments on that. For this DIY, I am going to use a transfer from Chalk Couture. If you don't know, I am a Chalk Couture designer. I'm going to use this mason jar sign from Dollar Tree, and then I'm going to use my chalk paste in the color Storm, the color Meadow, and the color Currant Jam. And I don't know why I show you my bright white, because I don't use that, and I knew I wasn't going to use it. I was having a moment. So I use my heat gun here, and I'm just removing this metal piece, just using the heat to kind of release some of that glue. And then once I got that off, I used my heat gun to remove that tag there. And then I got my staple remover to remove the hanger, but those staples were not in there very securely, and they came right out. I didn't really even need it. So then I took some goo off because it was still kind of sticky where that tag was, and I'm just making it unsticky. And then I am going to use my little finger sander and just do a little sanding where those holes were so that they're not apparent, but it's not going to matter because I'm putting the metal piece back on there. So, oh my goodness, sometimes. Okay, so I just painted that whole sign white, and of course I'm doing this on the back side because I don't want to deal with the paper on the front. So anyways, once it was all painted white, I am just doing my distressing with my elephant color. And I was so proud of myself for remembering to distress the middle, because a lot of times I'll put my transfer on and then I'm like, oh, I wanted to do distressing, darn it. And then I have to try and do it around the image. But anyways, so I'm using my surface wax here, and I'm just rubbing this all along that. And the reason why I'm doing this is because I'm not using a chalkboard, and I want to make sure that that surface is completely smooth for my transfer. So since this is the first time I've used this transfer, and since they are adhesive, you don't want it to stick too harshly on your surface, or it could stretch the transfer. So I fuzz it about 4 or 5 times just to make sure that it will come off smoothly. So after that, I'm going to use my Storm chalk paste, and I'm going to go over the measuring cups and the wordings with that Storm color. And then I'm going to use my Meadow Green for the leaves and my Currant Jam for the little berries. Now, if you have never tried Chalk Couture and are interested in trying it, we do have, it's called Club Couture, and it's $19.99. It's about $20 a month, and you get a free exclusive transfer that's not available to everyone. You also get 3 single pastes that coordinate with that transfer, as well as a squeegee. It is a great thing to sign up for if you are interested in trying it. You only have to sign up for it for 3 months. I mean, you can do longer if you'd like, but it's just a requirement for 3 months. I just learned that recently. But you do get an exclusive transfer, and it is so fun to use, you guys, and it always looks so high end when you're done, and it's really easy. And so if you're interested in trying, I would suggest doing that. Or they do have some kits. They do sell them a little bit more, but they do come with a few more extra things. So check it out. You can find my link to my Chalk Couture site in my description box. And if you have any questions, just make sure you email me. I'd love to answer you and give you any information you might need. So as you see, I just hot glued that metal piece back on, and then I'm just making another bow. I think I got this ribbon from Hobby Lobby, but you can use any kind of bow you like, and you can find black buffalo check bows or ribbon just about anywhere. Other than Dollar Tree, you can find it sometimes, but usually it's the smaller one. So then after I had the bow made and dovetailed it, I am just going to cut out some of these little flowers. I thought this coordinated very well with the leaves and the berries on the sign, as well as with my previous DIY. And then I'm just going to hot glue them right in the top left corner there. And then after that, I'm going to hot glue the bow right into the middle there. And I love the way this came out, you guys. I love actually all of these projects. I am just really loving today. So I just used some more of the shipping paper, and I'm just covering up that ugly back with it. And then I will trim off that excess shipping paper with an X-Acto knife here. And once it was all trimmed off, then I am just going to use some more twine. I'm making some knots. I decided it was too long there, so I had to make another knot, and then I'm going to hot glue them on the end. Now, I don't know if I'm going to actually keep this as a hanging sign, so I may add some tumbling tower blocks on the bottom if I want it to stand, so you could do either way. So here it is. You'll have to let me know what you think about this one. I just love it. And again, if you're interested and want more information, go ahead and email me. Here's DIY number 2. And you guys, oh my gosh, I love this one so much. So I took this family sign from Dollar Tree, some of these wood planks that I got from Dollar Tree, this canvas, I think it's 12 by 20. It was on clearance at Walmart this fall for $2, so I grabbed that. My Waverly chalk paint in the color elephant mineral white, and then this Deco Art teal mint paint. So I start off by taking the canvas off. Now I'm using a pick here to just kind of get the staples started, and then I used my staple remover. Some of them didn't want to come out until I realized I just need to push my staple remover in more, and then I was able to get those staples out a lot easier. But when I took that canvas off, I loved this frame. It has that little lip there. Oh, it was so pretty. I was so excited when I saw that. So then I just took my white chalk paint and I just gave it a good painting of that white color. Then I took my Mod Podge there, and I am just brushing this onto that metal family sign. I've done this before, and it seems to cause the paint to stick onto it a little bit better. So that's why I am going over the family sign with Mod Podge. So once I am done with that, I'm just going to set that aside. And then I'm taking off all the hangers from these boards, and I am going to paint them with my white, my mineral, my elephant, and my teal color there. Oh, see, I painted one white and then I showed you all the rest, I guess. I don't know what I was doing. But here they are, and I am going to flip my frame so the back is up. And I am laying these boards out in the way I wanted them. Now, one of the reasons why I'm using that teal, I know it's kind of bright, but I have a built-in in my living room that is that color. And so I wanted to hang this in my room, and I thought this would really tie in with that. So you could, if you want to recreate this, you could make the color any colors you want. So I just went through and I started hot gluing these boards onto the back of that frame. And once I am done hot gluing them on here, I am going to, I think, turn it around here and use my little sanding finger sander. Now, I was kind of hoping for some of that wood to show through, and it really wasn't showing through. It was just showing like sanding marks or scratch marks, which I was okay with because this is kind of a rustic sign anyways, and you know, that just kind of helps give it some wear and tear looking. So then I took these, I don't know what these things are, to get the little knobs off the back of that sign because they had little hangers. And then once I had those off, I am using my super glue on most of that sign, and then I'm just using the hot glue on the F and the Y just to kind of help give it permanent hold while the super glue sets in. Then I'm just going to turn it around and stick it on. I'm sorry, you guys. I did end up painting that white after the Mod Podge dried. Oh my goodness. Okay, so once that was done, I took this little hanger. I got this off of one of my previous DIYs. I didn't use it, so I thought, I'm going to try it on this picture frame. And that wood is soft enough that I was able to just use my little screwdriver to screw those screws in, and it went in just fine. So here I'm just screwing this in, and again, guys, I'm sorry, this is kind of out of frame, but there it is. I love this so much. Oh, you have to tell me what you think about this one in the comment box as well. Okay, here's DIY number 1. So for this DIY, I'm going to use some chicken wire I got from Amazon, some of these eggs from Dollar Tree, there's like 13 there, 2 of these egg wreath forms from Dollar Tree, my Waverly chalk paint in the colors agave, hazelnut, celery, and ballet slipper, and that's it. So I start off, I got some skewers for my stash and I put them inside the eggs and I am just painting them. I paint 4 with the celery, 4 with agave, 9, 10. I think I did 3 with the ballet slipper and 2 with the hazelnut. And I did have to do like 2 coats on each to really get a good coverage on them. Then once they were all dry, I'm just taking them and I'm alternating the colors, but I'm just adding a little glue end to end on them so that I didn't have to worry about them all just kind of running away. This way they were kind of staying put while I wrapped this. Now, if you can't find the egg wreath forms, you can obviously do this with regular round wreath forms. I've seen that on Pinterest before. And yes, I did get this idea from Pinterest, but like I said, they were all on round wreath forms. So, and I thought maybe I could get this to work good with the egg wreath form. So here I'm just kind of trying to bend it just a little bit so that it kind of bends downward. I thought that might help keep those eggs in place a little bit better. Then I took some rubber gloves, and if you're going to use chicken wire, I would recommend using some kind of rubber gloves on your hands because the wire is sharp. And I just used my wire cutters and I cut a bigger a piece. I don't know how much that was, but I just kind of eyed it and knew that that would wrap around. So I'm just taking that piece and wrapping it around as much of that wreath frame as I could. And then once I got the end piece all wrapped around, I just start tucking in those little end pieces into the wire wreath form, or the chicken wire. Just kind of pushed it all in so that way it's not sticking out and you can't, cut your fingers, because it'd be my luck I would cut my finger with them. So after I got it all wrapped, I took this ribbon. I got this ribbon, I believe, from Michael's last year. I just thought it was so pretty and I really do love it. I'm getting close to the end of it, but I'm just making a bow. I just made the awareness ribbon and scrunch it in the middle, and then I'm making a double bow. So I got this ribbon at Hobby Lobby last year. I just thought it was so beautiful. And so I'm just making a second ribbon, and then I'm going to attach those together with some jute twine and just gonna tie it tightly with a knot and trim that off, and then I'm going to fluff it and dovetail the ends of all of those tails there. And then once I have that all done, I am going to take some raffia that I got from Dollar Tree I've had in my stash, and I just took a big wad of it and I wrapped a longer piece of raffia around the middle to just kind of keep it in place, and then I just kind of tied a knot, and then I used that long piece to kind of weave through the wreath frame and then tie another knot just to hold that in place. And then after that, I'm going to take a little bit of wire. This came off of the that chicken wire, so I'm just taking that and I'm weaving it through behind the jute rope or jute twine, and then twisting it and then using that to attach my bow to that wreath form as well. Sorry that wasn't in frame. I was having a heck of a time getting it on there, but I got it on there. And that's all there was for this. It was super easy, and I love this, guys. I love the colors of those eggs. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. I used some twine to make a little hanger for it. But I love the colors of the eggs. I love everything about it. So you have to let me know what you think about this in the description box below. Here's DIY number 1. So for this DIY, I'm going to use this wreath form from Dollar Tree, and I'm trying to show you here. It's a 14-inch wreath form. I'm also going to use some tulips that I got from Michael's, and then some clothespins, one of these napkins, and actually I might have used, no, I used one napkin, and then this ribbon I got from Michael's when it was 50% off. I also used this spray paint and my Mod Podge. So I start off with taking my clothespins and that frame outside and painting it with my spray paint. And then I cut out one of the squares on this napkin. I just love this napkin. It's so pretty. And I am removing the back ply, and then I'm just taking Mod Podge and putting it all over the bottom row of those clothespins. And then I am going to lay the napkin on top. And then I'm just kind of lightly dabbing it down onto those clothespins. And then I just take my Mod Podge and go over the top part of that napkin. And then I'm just going to trim off the excess there, the top part. And I'm going to turn those clothespins around, and I'm going to add what I cut off onto the other clothespins there. I was having a heck of a time, you guys. My ceiling fan was on because it's gotten really hot here all of a sudden. And man, everything keeps flying around, and but you know what? I'll suffer through it just to keep cool. So once I get that napkin on, I'm just going to do the exact same thing I did on the other portion, and then I went and did that on all of my clothespins. Now I'm just taking an X-Acto knife. Once it was dry, I let it dry for probably about a half hour, which it's hot enough here for it to dry that fast. And then I took my X-Acto knife and I'm cutting in between each one of those paper clips, and then removing them, and then I'm going to trim up that excess on the end there, and then I'm going to use my little finger sander and sand away all the extra little bits that were on the side. And I have to admit, it's really not that easy with the clothespins because of the little metal piece in the middle. It made it kind of hard to get to some of it, but I did it. So then I just went through and I'm starting to clip. Now I did kind of try to keep the colors together so that it would look like tulips when you put it together. So I was trying to, almost like a puzzle, trying to work each color together, and I'm only doing one row, so I'm just clipping them on the middle two bars there. Once I had them all on there, I took some tulips and I am just using some floral wire to attach them to the middle of that wreath. And then I took this ribbon and I am just going to make my regular bow by doing the awareness ribbon and scrunching it up in the middle. I'm making 2 bows here, and then I'm just going to use some twine to tie them together. And this is a super easy project. It did take a little bit of time just because of the painting and then the napkins and the drying and all that stuff, but it is really super easy. And I've been wanting to do a clothespin wreath for a while, but I didn't want to do all that painting because the stuff that I see online I just love, but I thought this would be perfect, and I really love the way it turned out. As you can see there, I just used that jute string that I used for the middle of the bow to tie it onto the back or onto that wreath form, and I'm just dovetailing the ends, and that's all there was for this one. No, there's not. Sorry, I forgot. I took a little butterfly and I'm painting this. I think this is petunia purple that I used. I'm painting this butterfly. It's a wood butterfly I got from a pack of wood stuff from Hobby Lobby before Easter. And then I decided I wanted to try and make this match one of those butterflies on the ribbon. So I took my aquamarine and I'm painting the bottom part of the butterfly, and then I'm taking a black Sharpie and I'm just going around and making some black dots. And then I'm just gonna hot glue this on in between the middle of the bow there. And then that was all there is for this one. You'll have to let me know what you think of this DIY and if you've ever made a clothespin wreath. So here's DIY number 2. So for this DIY, I'm going to take this napkin here and this one of these wood planks from Dollar Tree, some tumbling tower blocks from Dollar Tree, this wood, I think they call it a wood stake from Dollar Tree, some birdhouses from Dollar Tree, my Waverly wax, my white color by Waverly, and then I have ocean, peacock, and lacquer. So I'm going to start off by painting everything white except for my tumbling tower blocks. And then I took 2 tumbling tower blocks and hot glued them on top of each other. Now I'm taking 4 and I'm hot gluing them 2. I'm going to have 2 that are 2 sets that are hot glued end to end. There we go. Now I'm going to put some wood glue and hot glue in the top part of one of those, and then I'm going to add the other one right on top, and then I do that with the other set of 3 there. And then I painted this white and realized I didn't want to paint this white, so I'm going back over it with my peacock color. That's what color it is. And I painted the 2 taller ones with that peacock and a single tumbling tower block with that color, and then I did the roof of this birdhouse with that color as well, and I just made sure I did the edges of the roof as well. And then after that I am going to take my ocean and do the same, and then I'm going to do the same on the other one with my antique wax. If you're new here, I want to say welcome. I am so glad you stopped by today. If you enjoy what you see today and you like home decor on a budget, holiday decor, thrift flips, gift ideas, and you like to have fun, then I invite you to hit that subscribe button, become part of our family, and then let me know in the comment box below that you are new here. I'd love to get to know you. And for those of you who are returning, as well as the new people, I would really appreciate it if you hit that thumbs up and comment, because that does help my channel grow. It lets YouTube know that you like my content, and it will promote it out more so more people can see it who haven't seen it before. So after I get this one all painted, you can see I did a little bit of red on the front of that one as well. I took some more of that antique wax and I'm just distressing all of the birdhouses. I kind of went over the roofs. I went all around the buildings. I wanted it to look kind of old and distressed. And as you can see on the one with the blue roof, I didn't do a lot of, I left some white looking because I wanted it to look distressed. So then I did a couple of the another tumbling tower blocks with that antique wax, and then the one that only had 2 tumbling tower blocks together. And there I was just making some shingles that came out looking really funny. So here I'm taking one of the blocks that I had painted with that peacock color, and I put it on that birdhouse, and then this one has one that has the antique wax. So now I'm taking this napkin and I'm removing, it was actually a 3-ply napkin. I removed both plies, and then I am just trimming around the houses, and I trimmed off some of the flowers on the bottom. We're going to use that for something else, but I didn't need it to fit on this wood plank, which I had painted white along with all the other items that I painted. So once I had that all cut out, I'm going to just go ahead and use my Mod Podge, and I'm going to adhere that napkin onto this wood plank. You guys, I really love the way this turned out. I just think it's adorable. I hope you like it too. So I go ahead and I put on this napkin. Now the little sign, I don't know if you can read it from here, it says birdhouses for rent. And I just thought that was so cute. And that's why I kind of came up with this idea of putting that sign up next to these birdhouses. So I was kind of trying to duplicate these birdhouses with the ones on the napkin. I was trying to make them all look the same. But here I just hot glued those pieces, those tumbling tower pieces to that big chunky block. And then I hot glued the houses on top. And then here I'm just putting some jute rope all around this little plaque with the napkin. And once I have that all on there, I did have to use my lighter to get some of the fuzz off, but I couldn't show you that because my fan kept blowing it off and I had to move it away from my camera to get it to work. But anyways, I'm just taking some more of that napkin and I am just going to Mod Podge it around the bottom part of the little birdhouses here, and then I'm just covering it with Mod Podge. And I add a little bit to the, here I'm just hot gluing the sign on that middle piece. And then I took some more of that napkin and I am putting it on this little perch. And then I put some around the one with the heart around the bottom part, and then around the eaves of the roof too. Then I just took some of these little birds that I got off of Amazon. They are, I believe, in my Amazon store, and I am just hot gluing them onto the perches. And then I'm going to make a little twine bow and put it on top of the tallest birdhouse there. Just needed a little something. And there it is. I love this. I really hope you guys like this too, but I just love that napkin. I think it's adorable. And yeah, you'll have to let me know what you think about this one as well. DIY number 3. So for this DIY, I'm going to use some of this jute rope. I'm going to use one of these bamboo cutting boards from Dollar Tree. That rope came from Walmart. This paper, it came from this paper pack from Hobby Lobby. I got it this summer. It was on clearance. And then some solo wood flowers there. So I'm going to use this board and trace out with the paper, trace that board out and trace the paper out. Oh my goodness. Okay. Once it was traced out and cut out, I used my glue stick, and I'm just using that to adhere it to the cutting board. Now this paper, it has scriptures in it and the Lord's Prayer. So that's why I picked that paper. So then I just put some hot glue on the back and I added my twine, and I am just wrapping it. I don't remember how many times I wrapped it, you guys. It's just really a matter of how thick you want the cross to look. So I'm just wrapping it and making sure that it's even on both sides. And then once I got it to the width that I thought I liked, I trimmed it, and then I just hot glue that piece to the back there as well. And then I'm going to take a little bit of twine there, and I'm weaving it underneath, And then I'm going to cinch it, and I went up just a little bit and I cinched it and tied that in a knot. And then after I do that and trim it all down, then I'm going to take some more of that rope and I'm going to do the same thing where I hot glue it in the back, and then I'm just going to wrap it around the sides and basically do the same thing that we did when it was going up and down. So once I have this all wrapped, I'm just going to, and again, I don't remember how many times I did it. I just did it to where I felt like I liked the way it looked. Then this time I used a tapestry needle to weave in that twine. It made it a little easier. And then I just scrunched it and tied a knot. And I absolutely love this one, guys. I think I love them all. I think they all came out really pretty. So I took some more of the solo wood flowers, and I am just going to hot glue that big one in the middle of the flower or the cross there. Then I'm taking some of these smaller ones and just going around the outside of that bigger flower there. Then after that, I took some of these pearl beads that I got from Dollar Tree. I've had them forever. And I just am hot gluing them in between those flowers where there was some gaps. And when I did that, I made sure that the little holes were not, they're facing sideways and not up and down. Then I took some smaller pearls from Dollar Tree and I did the same thing. I just went around the inside of that flower just to give it, I don't know, a little something else. Then I took my antique wax. I decided that paper needed some distressing, and I just went around the whole board, distressing the paper, distressing the board, because the board is kind of a lighter color and I kind of wanted the edges to be a little darker. So I'm just going all the way around and doing my distressing, and then I'm also going to distress some of that paper. It was a tannish color, but I wanted it to be a little darker so that it looked a little more old. Then after that, I took some 4 tumbling tower blocks, and I'm just going to glue one on each side of where the twine is. And then I'm just going to add one more to each of those because they were not long enough to hold that sign up. But once I got the second piece on there, then it stood up perfectly. And that's all there was for this one. You'll have to let me know what you think. There's so much you could do for this. I mean, you could use a bow. You could do in the middle there. You could do another cross in the middle. There's so much you could do with this, guys. And so let me know what you think about this one as DIY number 4. So on this DIY, I'm going to use this calendar page from this calendar, 2022 calendar. I am going to use this wood round that I recently got at Dollar Tree. And I was trying to look to see what size, but didn't have a size. My guess is 14 inch, but I'm not positive. So I started off by, of course, removing that hanger, and I was having a little hard time there. And then I took my Waverly chalk paint in the color plaster, and I am just painting the whole round. I do end up painting the back as well. And then once I have it all painted and dried, I do some dry brushing with my mineral color chalk paint by Waverly. And the reason being is I was trying to get this to look a lot like the background of that page because I wanted it to blend well. Then I went up and down with the plaster because if you looked really closely to that page, you could see a light going the opposite direction. But then I decided, okay, well, I want to cut this out. So I went around with my scissors and I cut as close to the wreath as I could. And then I also will go all around the farmhouse and cut as close to that as I could too. And I did end up having to cut the farm and house in half because it was a little too long and I couldn't get it to bend. But it works out great this way. So I'm just using some Mod Podge here, and I am just adding it to my board, and then I add the word farmhouse, and here I'm just kind of getting it all laid down. And then the E and the F, they have a little longer lines on the end of them, so I just take my little scissors and trim it down so that it's not sticking out. Then after that, I'm just going to add Mod Podge to the back of the wreath, and then I am going to add that to the top part of this sign as well. And then once I have this all on, I forget what I do. Let me see. Oh, I'm going to take some paint. Okay, so this is where I took some more paint, and I wanted the middle of that wreath to blend more. It was a little lighter in color, so I'm actually doing more finger painting than anything with the plaster color. And then I just kind of went over the word farmhouse with it too, and then used a baby wipe to just kind of wipe off the actual letters. So I wanted to kind of get it so it wasn't so white. Just to kind of help it blend in with that sign. And then I just did that again with the mineral. I added a little bit of the mineral to it as well. And then did the same thing where I just kind of wiped the letters down with a baby wipe so that it was easier to read, but yet it still kind of gives it that blending effect. Then I took some of these half beads that I got from Amazon. They are in my Amazon store. And I am painting them with the plaster. I just took some painter's tape and stuck them all on the painter's tape, and then I am just using a paintbrush to brush them all on. And then I love this method. To me, it's just so much easier than any other method I've tried. And then I also did some dry brushing with the mineral color as well. Then I'm using this protractor here to just kind of make sure I'm lining each of those up the right width, so they're the same. And so then I hot glued them all on, and then once they were hot glued, I am just taking some more of the boxwood greenery that I got this from Walmart. I love their boxwood, and I'm just hot gluing some onto the bottom, 2 on each side. And then I'm going to make a bow with this ribbon. I got this ribbon a while ago from Hobby Lobby, and I love this. I need to use this more. But I just making my bow like I normally do with the awareness ribbon and tying some twine in the middle. And then I'm going to hot glue that right in the middle of the bottom there where the opening is between the greenery. And of course I got a dovetail. But yeah, I love the way this came out. You'll have to let me know what you think about this one too. It's super easy, and yeah, anyways, it's super easy. And then I just put the hanger that was on it back there in place, and there it is. And I love the way this came out. I need to use those calendars more often. I forget about them sometimes. So if you enjoyed this video again and you are new, please make sure you hit that subscribe button before you go today.